rotate at 65.
Okay.
We're about 2,000 feet high.
Now accelerate to 80 pretty fast, so we get a little bit more speed. And climb out at 80.
Alright, we're at 80.
Makes me a little more comfortable with having a little bit of margin over the stall. As soon as you pass 900 feet, let's turn to a heading of 200 and make it 300 degrees, and we'll go over to Scapoose. And while we're doing that, I'll listen to the ASOS over there, and then we'll listen to the traffic for a little bit, see if there's too many people over there. What I would be willing to do, if you'd stop by sometime and take a look at it, I'll give you at least one free lesson.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Okay.
You said heading of 206, you said?
270.
Oh, 10, okay.
Well, that's 270 is fine, yeah. And climb up to 1,200 feet. We'll stay down fairly low.
Renard's traffic, mile 2 Tango, turning final for 2, landing in the grass.
I think it says to bring your prop back to 25 for climb, doesn't it?
Well, climb out 25.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to stay on, is climb out?
No, that's fine. We're going to level off here. Okay, turn to heading at 300 degrees. We're going to get too much over town here.
Renard's RV turning base.
20.
Traffic, Cessna 198.
Let's head for that white dairy barn up there.
To the south. Renard traffic, mile 2. Renard's RV, final, 02.
I've got a brother-in-law that's a real techie. In fact, he's the computer specialist for 3 schools, and we talked about this on the phone, and I said, what can I do to make it so I can show Netflix on my TV? He said, well, you know, this, and this, and he said, I've looked up a couple of companies. He said, there's 2 companies that look to me like they have what you need, so I went ahead and got that stuff from that one company, and I think what I've got is what he suggested, so it's just a matter of getting it in the right plugs.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the parts fit, there might be another, you know, it might show up as a second monitor. Do you know what operating system you have? Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows Vista?
It's pretty old.
Old?
Yeah.
Might be, it's probably Windows XP then.
Okay. Take it on down to 1,200.
Renard traffic, mile 2 Tango on downwind for runway 2.
B1RDs.
Yep. Ooh. Big ones.
Wind variable. 06. Visibility 10.
Right above
Sky conditions.
Ridgefield.
4 Celsius.
Bye-bye. about 2,000 feet.
14 Celsius. Altimeter 29er. Remarks, density altitude 1,100. Scapoose Industrial Air Park Airport, Scapoose, Oregon. Automated weather observation 1811 Zulu. Wind variable at 06. Visibility 0. Sky 2 Celsius. Dew point 14 Celsius. Altimeter 29er. Remarks, density altitude 1,100. Scapoose Industrial Air Park Airport, Scapoose, Oregon. Automated weather observation 1812 Zulu. Wind variable at 05. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 24 Celsius. Dew point 14 Celsius. Altimeter 29er. Remarks, density altitude 1,100.
Okay. Wind's variable at 4. We'll just have to listen up here a little bit and see if we can find out what runway they're using. Normally if it's calm winds or light variable like that, they'll land on runway 15. But we'll check and see here in a minute. Now they said the density altitude was 500 feet. Did we talk about density altitude before?
I don't think so.
Downwind, runway 33. Scapoose.
Scapoose 33, okay. It'll be right-hand traffic. Okay, go ahead and head now to a heading of, make it 270 to begin with. Density altitude affects the way your airplane flies, either positively or negatively. If it is a high density altitude, it affects you negatively.
Renard's traffic, mile 2 Tango, turning final 02.
If it's
on the ground.
a low density altitude, it's positive for you. And what it does basically, what you're talking about is how many molecules of air or oxygen are there in the air, in any given amount of air.
Okay.
The colder it is, the more dense the air is. The hotter, the less dense.
Scapoose traffic, Crossair 717 Papa Romeo, turning right base, runway 33 for a touch and go. Scapoose.
So if you have less oxygen to burn because it's a high density altitude day, you get less power. If you've got a cold day and a low density altitude, you've got more oxygen coming into the cylinder every time it takes a breath in. So you've got more oxygen that will support combustion, which will give you more power.
So that's why it's harder to get rolling on hot days and take off?
Well, that and the fact that there's less lift as well.
Oh.
There's less air per cubic centimeter of air or whatever. There's less dense in that amount, so that's overall affecting your lift on the wings. So on summer days, you tend to get fairly high density altitudes, which means low performance. And on cold days, this winter we had some that were minus 1,000 density altitude. Boy, the airplane just leaped off the ground on those days. Okay, I've got Scapoose down here on number 2. I'm going to leave Camas on number 1. I'm going to change the mic selector to number 2. So now we're broadcasting on this radio when you push the button.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to turn the top one down a little bit so we don't have to listen to too much traffic on 22.9.
Well, you could turn this off too, right?
Yes. Now, if they're landing on runway 33, which way is that going to point? That way, exactly. So,
sort of that way.
Yeah. How will you enter the traffic pattern for runway 33?
I'd swing out this way and come in on a 45 to downwind.
Exactly. Yep. So as soon as we get across the river here, let's see where we are in the river. Okay, we're fine to cross right here. You know, I've told you about this game reserve that's down here. We're south of it, I believe.
So we're actually, this time, we're going to come a straight final in then. So,
no,
or is the airport over?
No, the airport's right over here.
Oh, right in front of us?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we're going to come in like this and...
Yeah. Why don't you turn just a little bit to the left? That's probably good right there. I think this little lake right up here, the skinny one, is the last lake in the reserve, and then there's two little lakes right here that are side by side each other, and then the canal runs right between them, and the canal goes all the way up, I think, and goes around the island. Okay, you can head on up to the right now if you want to. I think we're clear of it. The traffic pattern altitude over here technically is 1,058 feet.
So basically 1,000 feet.
Yep. Doubt that I could fly 1,058 feet very precisely.
You could in your 737.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to, just shoot on up here about 90 degrees and we'll come in on a 45. We could enter on a downwind, but I mean on a base, but let's go ahead and fly the traffic pattern.
Still trying to find the airport.
Okay, just right up here, those white buildings right up there.
Oh, okay.
And the runway is just this side of them. So if you can see, there's two brown ponds right up here. No, further up.
Further up?
There's one over here, and then there's a stand of trees, and there's another one over here.
Where the crane is?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you'll come around and just parallel those up there about 2 miles, then that'll be a good 45.
So I should go out and then come back toward them?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. Just parallel those ponds about a quarter of a mile out from them. And that'll point us in on a 45 degree angle to intercept downwind. My wife and I have been watching several series on Netflix. We watched Orange is the New Black.
Porn.
Well, sometimes.
Lesbian porn, I should say.
Yeah. And then we watched House of Cards.
That's a pretty good show.
Yeah, we really like that. There was another one we watched a few months ago that was Glenn Close. She was a real high-powered
Damages.
Damages, yeah. Real high-powered attorney. We watched that. That was good.
Have you run across the Guardian?
No.
That's well worth watching.
Will be in progress. 2 minutes. Direct over the field. 13,000 below. Use caution by the field. Victoria traffic. Meridian 445 Tails on a 7-mile final on the RNAV for 26 at Victoria.
Okay. Now just a 45 right in there, and we'll get into traffic. You might make a call right now that just say we're on a 45.
Aero 33085, Scapoose traffic, Aero 33085, on entering our 45 on the downwind wind for runway 33, Scapoose.
Good. Yep. And you can see these muddy ponds over here.
So we're gonna, right about where those trees end, do you think? Is that where we're gonna start our turn?
Yeah, that'd be good. theoretically the 45 should come into the midpoint of the runway. So you're pretty close to that.
X-ray over near bridge and down to landing 30 Kelso.
Also, okay, that's also on this same frequency.
So, boost pump.
Okay.
Gas is on. Mixture. Undercarriage. Scapoose traffic, Aero 33085, entering downwind, runway 33. Scapoose.
Okay, watch your altitude.
Kelso traffic, experimental 1X.
I'm getting a little low.
45 to 30 Kelso. Be advised, skydive currently in progress, direct over the field, 13,000 below, use caution.
Okay, there's the end of the runway.
Give ourselves a notch of flaps.
Get your gear down. I would get my gear down before this.
I thought I put it down.
Oh, you mentioned it.
Maybe I fiddled with it. 3 in the grain. Okay.
Kelso traffic, experimental 1X, 0 November X.
I feel a little bit high.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Boost pump gas, mixture prop. Undercarriage, 3 in the green.
And shoot for about 90 on final till you're on short final, and then you can do 85. You're diving a little bit too much right here. Gonna mean you're gonna have to add a little power and drive in. And we'll plan on doing a touch and go if everything's under control.
So we're at 90 now.
Okay. And ease your prop up if you haven't already. Keep the nose down. There we go.
Kelso traffic, experimental 1X, 0 November X-ray, turning left base, 30 Kelso.
Yeah, I'm way high, huh?
Power all the way off if it's not. Now start flaring. Oop, too much. Down. No. Now catch it. Hold it. There you go. There you go. All the way in.
And rotate.
Okay, that was nice. Nice recovery.
A lot of other things not so nice though.
What the heck?
Gear going up.
Okay. Oh, sounds like we got the pattern to ourselves for a little while. Now at this point, go ahead and bring your power back, your prop to 25 and your power back to 25. Prop on mixture. There you go. Now at 500 feet, start your turn to crosswind.
Scapoose, Aero 33085, turning crosswind, runway 33. Scapoose.
Cross air 717 Papa Romeo on a 45 for left downwind.
Gotta still keep climbing, Travis.
Yep.
Go heat.
And just roll and go ahead and turn on to downwind.
Scapoose, Aero 33085, turning downwind, runway 33. Scapoose.
Now, see, I think I told you, think the nose up right there at that last flare, at the flare, the initial flare. You pulled too much. You pulled with your hand. If you kind of mind gamed it up a little bit, if you can think of that, it just a hair. So everything was good up to that point, but but you made a good recovery.
Goheen traffic, 717 Papa Romeo, turning base, runway 15, Goheen.
Scapoose traffic 33085 on downwind for runway 33, Scapoose.
I would start configuring here. Get back down to 100, get your speed under control.
25 of Beam Green Mountain, Camas.
So boost pump, gas, undercarriage. Mixture prop, 3 in the green.
Sundowner 01 Mike, crossing midfield for left downwind, runway 25.
Maintaining 100.